Hey there, fantasy football fanatics. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Focus with the Three Frosted Mugs, a Fiat Entertainment Group production. I'm Rodney, and here with me, as always, is Chad.
Yeah, whatever.
Hey, Chad.
What's up,
And
Steven?
Matt, our producer.
What's up, guys?
What's up, B?
What's going on, Matt? And Conway is out again this week, and we do hope to have him back soon, but we'll see. Let's talk about fantasy football.
I think we should. With a show called Fantasy Focus, we probably should.
I think it's the only thing we can talk about in a show called Fantasy Focus.
Fantasy hockey.
But before we do that, you like that little build-up, and then I stopped us? I would like to congratulate the winner of the Pick 3 Plus for this week, Short Block.
Bushy.
Short Block, you will be receiving your Three Frosted Mugs mug in the mail. Or we'll be bringing it. I'm not sure.
I'll bring it to you, Bushy.
Yeah, he could bring it to you.
I'll fill it up with something good.
Which, yeah, the mug can be used to fill up with whatever you desire to drink. So it's pretty awesome. All right, well, let's get right into it. And I've got to apologize for my voice. I sound a little bit like Nick Nolte mixed with Chris Berman. I tell you, it was a weekend.
You like it? Oh, and before starting the show, that's all you've done is Nick Nolte impressions. Yeah, I think this is the best thing that could have happened to you.
I've been quoting every Nick Nolte film, every role he's ever played. Okay, let's get right into it, though. Let's talk about last week's top performers.
All right, we'll start at the quarterback position. This guy named Peyton Manning, you might have heard of him. He had a pretty good game.
Mm-hmm.
He carved up, which is a good secondary, good defense, and the Cardinals. Russell Wilson, liked him all week. I think he rushed for about $120, touchdown, threw for over two, maybe two and some change. And then the guy that I had picked up, I think 2 weeks ago on the waiver wire, Austin Davis. I mean, huge week for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were playing from behind, so he had to throw a lot. But the kid looks good. I like this kid. I like Austin Davis.
Yeah, he had a big game. Russell Wilson, just real quick to tell you, at one point when Seattle Seahawks had 110 yards rushing, he had 88 of them himself.
Wow.
So, I mean, just...
I think he, like in the first quarter alone, it was...
Oh, as soon as the gap opened up, man, it was 25 yards. No problem.
Yeah, he's
nice. Ridiculous.
Redskins D is a little suspect.
They are. But I mean, I think that also just goes to show how multifaceted Russell Wilson is. Anyway, I'm going to get off that Russell Wilson train, and let's head into the running backs' top performances. Brandon Oliver.
Everybody knew he was going to have just a killer game.
yeah, Brandon. You know Brandon.
No, he had a kid from Buffalo. He had a good game. Had a real good game. They got a
he's
good
from
team,
Buffalo
man.
College. He went to college in Buffalo.
Yep.
Plays for San Diego. For you guys who don't know who this guy is.
Exactly. Yeah, they got a good game. They got a real good team in San Diego. Somebody to watch out for. Maybe the two top 5 teams in the NFL coming out of that division over there, with the Broncos being the other team. Matt Forte had a good game. Had 100-plus yards receiving, 10 receptions. If you were in a PPR league, he really killed it. Then the guy had on my sleepers, Andre Ellington. It helped. He caught, I think, an 80-yard touchdown pass from Logan Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
So he,
which was Thomas's only completion out of the 8 attempts that he had.
I'm glad it was to my guy.
All right, well, let's move into the wide receivers.
All right, Demaryius Thomas, the guy who I predicted to have a big game. Finally, they had 2 weeks that you knew Peyton wanted to get him involved, get his spirits up. So they had to get Demaryius Thomas going, and they did in a big way. Broke Denver's single game yards for a single game. Deshaun Jackson. Now, I didn't see the game, but the long touchdown pass he caught. Did he catch that on Sherman?
Oh, man. Yeah.
I want to say he did from what I hear, but I'm not 100% sure. But he had a good game.
Because the one on Cam Chancellor was blocked. So, yeah, I think it was.
So a guy that I liked it late, I guess late in the week, early Sunday morning, that I put in a few of my single week fantasy games was Golden Tate. Golden Tate had a real good game.
What a great pickup for Detroit, right? Golden Tate. He's been really big for them.
Yeah, it's been real big. So now I think Calvin Johnson's out for a couple weeks, so it looks like Golden Tate's role is going to be even bigger. So that's real good for him.
Oh yeah. I'm surprised that Seattle let him go, to be quite honest, because I mean, really, other than Percy Harvin, who are their wide receivers?
Yeah, like Doug Baldwin.
It's like
it doesn't matter. They got Marshawn Lynch.
That's true.
That doesn't matter.
That is true. All right, tight ends.
Tight ends, Greg Olsen. I mean, he's putting up good fantasy numbers week in and week out. Julius Thomas and Rob Gronkowski. I mean, Gronk's back. Everybody's been talking about his quarterback. He ain't gonna let that happen. Like he said, they are going to make Tom Brady look good. And I think this Pats team gets on a roll and starts playing some real good football. But Julius Thomas, back to him. I mean, he's putting big numbers up week in and week out. One of the tops in the league. You just can't match up with him. He's just a matchup nightmare. What
was the record that Peyton Manning accomplished over the weekend?
500 touchdowns.
And I think Julius Thomas caught his 500th. That's how you say that, right? 500th? That just sounds weird to me. I don't know why.
Only the second guy to have 500 touchdowns. He's
pretty
good.
Yeah, he's pretty. He turned out to be okay.
Not a bad pickup.
No, not at all. All right. You know what? We don't normally mention the defenses, but I had to this week because Philadelphia's defense has been on a roll. I mean, what did I say? 5 defensive touchdowns this season thus far?
5 defensive touchdowns in, 5 games?
Yeah, and 3 of them in one game, and then they just had another one this past game.
Well, they better keep it up because their offense is looking pretty stagnant. I mean, they don't look like the Philly offense that we're accustomed to seeing. I think that gets back on track. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game against the Giants this week, but yeah, not the Philly offense that we're used to seeing right now.
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. They're lucky their defense is playing like they are. Consistently scoring in the 20s the past 2 weeks as well.
Good for a defense.
Oh, definitely. And the best part is I faced off against them this past week in my fantasy league, so it was wonderful. It worked out real well.
Yeah.
All right. Some disappointing performances that occurred over the past week. Geno Smith, -1 in my league.
He's a dud.
I mean,
he's not. I mean, Conway sat here. We talked about it before during our show, during this show probably. He's not an NFL quarterback. I mean, he'd be a good guy to have as your number 3 guy, maybe a decent number 2 guy to be a fill-in guy for a game or two. I tell you, pick somebody else up because you don't want Geno Smith starting. I don't know if the Jets just have too much pride, if Rex Ryan or the GM over there has too much pride just to pull him and say, hey, the Geno Smith experience is not working. Mm-hmm. But they're sticking with him. I mean, Michael Vick is not going to do much better, so you might as well keep the young guy in and hope he does develop a little bit, but he's not going to be your starter.
No, why do you think Michael Vick, and to side note, just question, Michael Vick having the experience he has, do you just think all the skills he had are gone? Is that what it is? He doesn't have the athleticism anymore?
I just don't know if he has that drive.
Really? Okay, so you think it's more just like
I don't know
spirit.
if it's just the black hole that you go into when you get to the New York Jets as a quarterback. But as of late, I just don't see anybody going there. It just seems like you go there and they just suck all the drive right out of you as far as for wanting to be good. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, they're not all that bad. Now, Peyton Manning's going to make them look bad this week, but they're not all that bad. Moving to another guy, didn't have a good week. Drew Stanton, he got hurt, so we don't want to blame him too much. Dink and Dunk Fitzpatrick, Dallas defense kind of held him in check. And
another
then
surprising defense.
Honorable mention, you wanted to put in there?
Yeah,
Joe Flacco?
honorable mention, Joe Flacco. Thanks, Joe. Thanks for being my QB2 and doing so well. Hopefully you can hear my sarcasm in my voice.
Yeah, if he, I'll make sure he listens to it if he doesn't happen to be.
Yeah, not that far. He's right up the Beltway.
Yeah, he can call in if he wants.
Yeah. All right, running backs. Alfred Morris, I think they were averaging like 1.8 yards a carry last night, which is not hugely surprising because that the front seven's pretty stout. But they just shut him down.
Yeah, and you got to find unique ways to get him the ball. Going into it that D is stout. You got to find some unique ways to get him the ball. Reggie Bush got hurt a little bit, but he's been bottled up. And then Monte Ball, I think whether or not he had gotten hurt or not, his role was going to start to diminish a little bit. Ronnie Hillman runs tough. You'll see in a little while. I'm big on Ronnie Hillman this week.
Foreshadowing.
We'll move into wide receivers. Mm-hmm. Michael Floyd laid a dust. Luckily, I have him in a league, and he pretty much basically laid an egg.
Mm-hmm.
And he's boom or bust. If you look at him, he's had big game, bad game, big game, bad game.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess he's due next week to have a big game.
Well, I'll keep him in my lineup then.
Danny Amendola, if you got him on your bench, if he's anywhere on your team, get rid of him. He's done. His role is basically diminished in New England. He shouldn't even be on disappointing performances, but we wanted to put him on there by name alone, get him off your team. And Kelvin Benjamin just had a bad week. He's still getting a lot of targets, just had a bad week. He'll be back strong. I kind of like him this week.
All right, okay. Tight ends. Jimmy Graham got hurt, injured, sprained his shoulder. Obviously very disappointing. Scored me 5 points in my one league, PPR league. So disappointing performance from him.
Yeah, he'll get back on track if he can get healthy, but he's There's a lot of weapons in New Orleans. They're still. I think they're a top 5 offense. I saw the other day. They're struggling a little bit on the defensive side of the ball, but on the offensive side of the ball, I mean, they're still the New Orleans Saints. They can turn it on if they can start playing a little defense. They can turn it on.
Well, they have a bye week coming up as well, so he's going to have some time to rest that shoulder and hopefully get back in playing condition.
Exactly. Jordan Cameron, disappointing. He's still getting back. He's not 100%. They got some other guys. They just got a bunch of average guys that are stepping up, playing good football. They got a good. They're 2-2, but they're not giving up. They're striving to get better. I look for good things out of them. And Martellus Bennett, you can't do nothing with him. It was a disappointing performance, but you can't bench him. You got to play Martellus Bennett every week.
And just an honorable mention of disappointment, Seattle. Seattle did not perform up to, I think, the par that a lot of people, because I know people who have Seattle, like, draft them in like the 7th or 8th round of the draft, because, Seattle has that type of reputation, being the top defense in the league.
They didn't force any turnovers, too. So
not a single one. And way to go, Kirk Cousins. Even though we lost, I got to say, man, yeah, you didn't throw any picks. I think you were like 23 or 28 for 36. I'm not sure. It was actually a really nice stat. Yeah.
I mean, he has some good stats. I didn't see the game, so I can't really, I've got it DVR'd. I'll probably go back just to take a look. But looking at his stat line, it looked like he played a pretty decent game. I think Jay Gruden said he missed a few quick reads. He went to his check downs a little bit early, but maybe he was a little gun shy after 4 interceptions, but that's natural.
Yeah, and I mean, just the fact that he was hitting Deshaun Jackson on some big plays right there and really throwing into their secondary, putting it to Seattle, I think.
Exactly, letting it fly.
All right, Chad, tell me about the future.
The future.
What's coming up in week 6?
My picks haven't been too bad. This week, I'm going to go ahead and go with Andy Dalton, playing at home against Carolina. There's 2 really good defenses, so you would think it's going to be kind of a low-scoring game. I think I see a little bit of points coming out of this game. Andy Dalton's going to bounce back after they got basically embarrassed at New England. So I like Andy Dalton to bounce back, have a really good game. I'm not even going to put this guy on my sleeper picks, but I'm going to put him up there as a top performer after what he did last week. I mean, give me Austin Davis. I like Austin Davis. Who are they playing? Why can't I find them? The Monday night. That's why at the bottom they're playing
where you would not expect them to be. Is that what
I know? They're playing a good Niners team, but it's going to be on a Monday night. I think Jeff Fisher's going to have them ready to go, and I think they're still going to do some good things through the air. So I like Austin Davis. And this game, I like both quarterbacks, but I'm going to have to take Matt Ryan. They're playing the Bears. They're playing at Falcons. I like for Matt Ryan and Julio Jones to connect a lot. I like that game. I like the over in that game, too. So I like for there to be some points.
Okay. Tell me some sleepers.
Well, I hit on Brian Hoyer last week.
You did.
I'm going to go deeper sleeper than that. Deeper sleeper.
And I see where we're going. This is deep.
You like this guy, Derek Carr.
I'm a fan.
I'm going Derek Carr. I think they've had, a little bit of time. New coaches change. Maybe that's what they need. I'm not going to say they're going to be a good team. Everybody thinks, they're playing at home, but they're playing a really good defense in the Chargers. So I think a lot of people are going to sleep on them. I think Derek Carr's going to hook up with James Jones. I think they're going to have a good game together. That
is a hell of a game to come back to after a bye.
Yeah, one of the best teams in the AFC.
I mean, that's almost not fair, especially for Sperano. Did you see what he did, by the way, with the team?
Buried a football.
Okay, I get where you're going. It should have been 4 footballs and 4 holes. That's all I'm going to say. All right, let's see. I lost my place on my notes here.
Top running back?
Yeah, give me your top RBs.
Top RBs.
Top running backs. I'm taking advantage of the voice while I have it.
Do it, man. Go ahead. I'll let you roll. Lamar Miller, like Lamar Miller at home. They're coming off a bye week to play the Packers. Packers that don't have a really good run defense. So I like Lamar Miller to come out and run hard. Again, this Bengals team, I like them to score some points this week. I think Giovanni Bernard, I think he's going to have a big week in that game. And then I had this guy in my sleepers last week just because he hadn't had that breakout performance. But I think as long as Logan Thomas don't play, even though he caught one of his bombs off Logan Thomas, I like Andre Ellington. They're playing a mediocre Skins D. Now, Skins D played good against Seattle, but they were at home. They're on the road now. I think Arizona obviously is going to play a little better at home, and I think they're going to take advantage of this Redskins team.
You know, just because I went to the game last night, and we definitely got lucky with a lot of penalties, just so everyone is aware. I mean,
Harvin
had
like
3 touchdowns called back. I mean, so we had some luck, and that's what I kept yelling the whole game. I was like, I'll take them. I'll take them. Give them to me. Give me the penalties. I don't care.
Anthony was so bitter.
I'm sure he was. All right, we're going into your sleepers, right? Sleeper running backs.
Yep, sleeper running backs. Looks like Rashad Jennings might be out. Don't know 100%, but if he is, I like Andre Williams in that game. I don't think that Philly has a great run D. I think Andre Williams is going to run pretty good, get some points. And I like this guy, Ronnie Hillman. They're going to play Ronnie Hillman. He's going to get the start when ball's out. There's the other guy they have too. They got C.J. Anderson, and there's one more guy. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but I was really impressed with the very little bit of work he did. But Ronnie Hillman's going to take that job. He's going to come in. Monte Ball won't have to worry about it. He's going to be splitting time. So those are my 2 sleepers, Andre Williams and Ronnie Hillman.
Okay. Wide receivers, give me your top.
Kelvin Benjamin. Didn't have that great of a game. Matter of fact, had a terrible game.
Mm-hmm.
He's still getting the targets. He's going to get it done this week. Like Larry Fitzgerald. Again, I think there's going to be some points in this game. So I think the Redskins are going to put up some points at Arizona. So the Cardinals are going to have to keep their foot on the gas. I like for Larry Fitzgerald to have a real good game. Matter of fact, he probably should have been on my sleepers. And then Jeremy Maclin. It's going to be your Sunday night game. Giants at Philly. Look for a lot of points there. I like Nick Foles a lot in this game, too. I think he's going to hook up with Jeremy Maclin quite a bit.
That's probably going to be a pretty high-scoring game, I'd imagine.
You would think so. If Philly don't score on defensive special teams, it's hard to tell. Their offense hasn't been clicking, but I look for them to get it together here.
Okay. What about your sleepers?
Sleepers. This guy, I liked him late, and I'd end up having him. He helped me out a lot in some of my, because I got him for cheap in some of my 1-week fantasy games. Mm-hmm. And Brian Quick. Brian Quick had a real good game, catching some passes from Austin Davis. And Sammy Watkins. I think Sammy Watkins is going to have a good game. I think they're going to need to throw a lot because they're going to be playing from behind. But I like Sammy Watkins to have a good game.
Okay. What about your tight ends, top tight ends?
Tight ends, I like for Gronk to have another good game. They're coming out. They got something to prove. You talked about his quarterback. He's coming out playing with a lot of guts right now.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Ertz. This guy hasn't been that particularly great, but I look for him to catch a lot of balls as well. Sunday night at Philly against the Giants. And then Delaney Walker. I think Walker.
You've chosen Delaney Walker almost every week.
I'm not going to keep him out. They're playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, too.
Yeah.
I'm not keeping Delaney Walker.
Yeah.
I can't take him out now.
Do you think if your name was Zach Ertz that you would, after you score a touchdown, say Ertz Donut? Do you think you would say that? I would say it.
Would you?
I think I may.
Give
me your sleepers. Is this like an old school rapper? This guy, who is this person you're about to say right now?
J to the DRA, Jim Dre, with Jordan Cameron kind of, I guess, getting over his injury.
Mm-hmm.
Dre had a nice little game. I think they're gonna have to go with with some short passes against Steelers. Steelers are a real tough D. It's probably gonna be a low scoring game. Look for him to utilize the tight end. Matter of fact, on both sides of the ball. And Jared Cook. I like some points in this game. Austin Davis spreading the ball around a little bit.
You love Austin Davis now.
I'm getting a jersey. But I like for there to be some points. And Jared Cook is I wanted to call Jared Cook Austin Davis. Everybody's Austin Davis.
The whole team's Austin Davis.
He's got good size, and I don't think he's going to be intimidated by the linebackers of the 49ers.
Who, Austin Davis?
Austin Davis. I got him as my defense, too, Austin Davis.
Speaking of that, give me 2 top defenses.
We'll go real quick. Can't leave out Philly. They've been playing the best defense special teams out of anybody as far as from the fantasy side. And I like Pittsburgh. Low scoring game, playing the Browns.
All right. I think
keep it short and sweet.
We've touched on everything. So go back to your lineups and take a look and see how that will affect your decision.
If you have any questions, you can ask us on Facebook. You can tweet us.
You can tweet us at 3 Frosted Mugs. That's frosted with no vowels. FRSTD. And if you have any other questions, you can certainly reach us on our Facebook page. But also don't forget to play Pick 3 Plus. You go to www.threefrostedmugs.com to play, and you can enter for a weekly prize and the grand prize, which is
Samsung tablet.
The Samsung tablet.
All right, Nick.
What?
Nick.
All right.
Nick Nolte.
All right, well, thank you, and tune in next time for Fantasy Focus with the Three Frosted Mugs. Thank you to AJ Studios for the post-production and graphics work. Matt, thank you for running the booth. I appreciate it. It is now a booth. And until next time, trust your gut and never tinker.